Hello and welcome back to Blackpool for continued coverage of the World 8 Ball Pool Championships. We've seen some great pool this week, two amazing finals today, particularly the team one this morning. Incredible atmosphere between Ireland and Australia. Ultimately saw Ireland win. We've then just seen Sabria Brunet of France beat Amy Beecham in the ladies singles final. But this is the one that a lot of people have been waiting for. This should be a really cracking match. We've got Shaun Chipperfield against Karl Sutton in the men's singles final. Very pleased to be joined once again by Lee Kendall, long-time England captain. Now, you've obviously played with Karl a lot, but you must have seen Shaun's progress through this tournament, and you can't help but be impressed by what you've seen.
Well, I've seen the results. I haven't seen much of him play because by the time I finish the match, he's already back in his hotel room. He's so quick.
It's incredible. I know everyone says that, and we've talked about it all week, but he really does play fast, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it'd be good to watch if he plays to the standard that he can play at that speed. He'll be in for a good final.
Yeah, I was joking with Karl yesterday, saying, what are you going to do with this? He said, well, hopefully he will miss a few, because he's one of those players that you imagine he must miss some sometimes, otherwise he'd have won this before. But
it's the key to the match. If Karl can make him make mistakes, and he's the sort of player that if he gets on a roll, you can't stop him, but you've got to extract the mistakes from him. And Karl's playing at a level now where I personally think he's slight favourite, but not a lot in it.
Yeah, he's favourite in terms of experience, isn't he? He's played in the England team, won lots of times, and he's been out there a bit more. But, Shaun, he looked pretty composed in the semi-final.
Ability-wise, there's not a lot in it. Just the fact that Karl's beaten Michael, he's beaten Phil Harrison, he's come to the harder side of the draw. So just for that, you'd expect him to have the slight edge, but this is only a slight edge.
And what do you think about that style of play? I suppose he's just going to carry on doing the same, really, isn't he? Shaun, you're not going to change it for a final?
He's got one gear, a very good gear, but that's how he plays, and he's a fantastic player.
And what do you think for Karl? He's been part of that really successful England team. There's been loads of great players around him. Is this the year he's come out into the limelight, won the Europeans?
Well, I spoke to him probably 6 months ago and said to him, why aren't you winning more? And he said, well, I don't think I'm good enough. I'm sort of quarter-final. This is my level. I said, you're a better player than that. You should be winning these tournaments. And, since then, he's gone on and he's got to the final and won the Europeans. He's in the world final. He's now favoured, in my eyes, to win this title. And it'll be a massive step forward for him in his career.
What do you think that'll do for him? Can he win as many as some of the names we've seen win lots of them?
Just self-belief. I think the only thing he lacks is self-belief. He's got the game to win any tournament, the firepower, the tactical play. It's just self-belief. Sometimes he doesn't push himself to where he should be.
And have you seen either of them preparing for this? Have you talked to them beforehand? Do they both seem confident?
I haven't seen the room. Well, I don't know if they're roommates, but they're certainly close mates from a similar area, the same team. So I think they've just been knocking about in each other's company. They're quite relaxed. And I think for them, it'll help both players to relax in the match. That it's their both first final, and they haven't really got to go and play somebody they don't like or a strange atmosphere. They're going to be like playing at their own town in a sense. So.
Yeah, they were in the bar together last night, and they seemed quite happy outside talking, which is a good sign, I guess. Well, without any further ado, let's get the players into the arena.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Men's Individual World Championships for the World 8 Ball Pool Federation World Championships of 2016. I'd like to first introduce your match referee from Malta, Sasha Gauci. Good luck, sir. Good luck, mate. And your timekeeper from England, Claire Watts. We'll bring on the players now from England, the qualifier, Shaun Chipperfield. And his opponent this afternoon, the number 6 ranked player and current European champion, Karl Sutton from England. I'll now hand you over to your match referee.
They've played a lot of pool to get to this point. Shaun Chipperfield in particular, coming through the qualifying section, won a qualifier even to come to Blackpool, then had to win the qualifying rounds in Blackpool, then into the main draw itself, which has made his way right through to this final. Karl Sutton, slightly easier path in the sense of having to play less matches, but not an easier path in terms of who he beat. Beaten some great players along the way to get to this point. we were saying beforehand, Lee, not very much to choose between the players on paper.
No, it's going to be a really hard match to call. I'd say that I put Karl a slight favourite, but you can toss a coin really. There's not a lot in it.
Yeah, I mean, you feel with Shaun, if he plays like we've all seen him play sometimes, he's going to beat anybody. I mean, he really is that good, but you assume that he can't play like that all the time, otherwise he probably would have won more tournaments.
Well, the important thing for Karl, he has to not make mistakes himself and capitalise on any mistakes if Shaun makes any. But you have to remember that Karl has played fantastic throughout this tournament, and he's playing as well as Shaun's playing. So he doesn't quite play as quick, but he's not making mistakes.
And look at this break. This is probably the best break we've seen all tournament.
Without a doubt. Okay. A 9-ball break, how many balls have gone? 3 reds and 2 yellows. You'd like to be able to get through the reds to the yellows. You're not sure you can. I think the red's blocking it. You can see all the yellows around the 8-ball, which guards the 8-ball a little bit. So he's just looking to see if he can get through to that yellow.
Well, if he breaks like that in this match, he's going to have an enormous head start, because that, it has to be said, wasn't his strongest point when he was playing Phil Harrison in the semi-finals yesterday. He was struggling slightly with the break, and it was only because Phil was as well that it didn't really matter to him.
Yeah, and he's just slid the red behind the yellow ball. You see there's only 3 more reds left. The 8-ball will go into a couple of pockets, just about positional play here. But as you say, the break is massive, certainly to get off to a good start. A good clean pot.
Yeah, I mean, we'd certainly fancied Shaun to have a powerful break. Karl has always got a good break, but not that good. I mean, if he can replicate that, he'd be well away. In fact, he'll be giving lessons if he can replicate that one.
Yeah. And Karl's playing into his favourite middle bag. He needs to start using 5 pockets and not 6 after.
Yes. I felt a bit bad criticising anything about that performance, but you've got to say he missed some balls into that pocket.
But he's just slightly overrun that. Not sure which pocket he's going to choose to put the 8 in. It might go back into the same pocket as playing the red in. He's looking there, but he wants to leave the cue ball, so he'll have a thinner clip at the 8-ball than he would like, but if he can just miss the 8-ball with the cue ball on the way back into the middle of the table, it'll be perfect. Needs to travel. He would like a little bit further over, but he's got a shot. And like in the semi-final, a tough black to start off with.
Yeah, well, yes, wasn't it? Just got to get a little bit careful with this. Doesn't want to slide off the side into the other corner pocket.
Yeah, it looks a lot easier from that angle. Just needs to be careful, like I say, with the cue ball, but one good stroke on this, and it should be 1-0 to Karl Sutton.
Wow, it's an easy game, isn't it, when you play like that?
That's a great finish.
Great break, great finish, 1-0.
First part of his job done. First opportunity, a break and clearance.
Yeah, it's nice to see, though. He and Phil Harrison played a good quality match, but went a lot of frames before one of them first had a clearance off their own break. So a pretty different tempo already.
And when you do play well, you tend to break well, because you're getting through the cue ball better, so that's a sign that Karl's still in stroke.
It just settles your nerves so much. He's going to have a lot of support in the arena. A lot of his England teammates, a lot of other supporters out there. He's been around a long time. So popular guy.
It'd be quite awkward as well, because it's an all-England final. They all come, all his friends will be watching both players, so they can't really support one or the other, so it'd be more like a polite hand clap rather than a raucous shouting session.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an interesting point, the fact they should both come from East Anglia, relatively close together, one from Norfolk and Suffolk. As you say, they practice together.
Another big break there. The yellow ball was potted from the break. You can still choose reds or yellows.
No, I think it was a try break.
Is it? You're right, it's Karl back at the table.
Yeah, it's hard to see. The balls are so widely spread, but nothing's gone down, so it's Karl in again.
And a nice little flick there off the yellow ball. He's just got a little bit of work to do on the right hand side where there's three reds and a yellow ball there. He's showing you when he wants to leave the cue ball, so he's going to play to drop the red in the middle either this shot or the next one. Looks like it's this time. Leave an angle on the other red in the middle and screw the cue ball into the yellow. So first job must be to pop the red. I think he thinks he's had a kick there. He was straight up as he played it. The cue ball hasn't run as far as he thought it was going to.
Yeah, the cue ball's kind of died there. I mean, it was a good pot, and it was lucky because it was quite straight. The bad contact wouldn't really have affected the potting angle. That was a more difficult shot than several of the ones he missed into the middle the other day. So.
That was his good middle though.
Yes, that's true. The other side he wouldn't have been doing that. So having to turn to a different plan, which is somewhat less opportune from a positional point of view.
We'll cut it. That's a first mistake.
Yeah, and he's left a gap there to get that yellow round as well.
He might be playing the yellow off the red to free.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he wants to do. Then he can free it up for the two yellows on the right-hand side.
So it's the first chance to see Shaun Chipperfield in the final. He's notably taking his time, which is unusual.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed in his semi. Although he's got this reputation for racing around and a well-deserved one, he wasn't a madman by any means. Like when he needed to take some time, he did, and when he needed to play a tactical shot, he did.
Yeah, and he's just played the tactical shot straight away, so might not be as quick as we all thought.
No. Just change our dinner and reservation.
Turn the ovens off, we're in for a long night.
Yes.
I'm sure that won't be the case because I don't think he'll want to get too bogged down.
No, I think to be fair, although we were talking about opening up that pocket as a route to an eventual clearance, it's not so much those balls that are the problem. There's some other ones tied up down the bottom of the table.
And if Karl's looking where they can pot this and flip the red out, or if he's just going to put it over the pocket. Has he reached? Yeah.
I think so. He was kicking around before. Yeah.
Well, slightly loose double that. You can see what he was thinking. He was trying to come down the left-hand side of the table and leave himself on the difficult yellow below the black.
Yeah, Shaun's the slight favourite with having the red ball by the yellow over the top right pocket. Karl will be aware of that, and I'll just be trying to attack that area, whether he can double the red over onto the other reds. But he's still got the problem balls near the middle, which is going to pop now and try and break the red out. Be careful it doesn't glue to the other yellow. Move that out nicely. He might be forced to pop one over the bag and play the double. Got the other option of playing the tactical foul and play the yellow down onto the red, but a little bit dangerous. Somebody of Shaun's firepower. So he's just weighing that option up now. He doesn't know whether he's going to play it. No, he's trying to kick it out. Two visits.
Well, the only saving grace, I guess, is that those two yellows are not looking so good, bottom right. Well, it seems the normal speed has been resumed. Yeah, I think he has just cleared that pocket.
It's just okay. He's come back and blocked the pocket for the 8, but there's another 5 pockets to go at.
And these are the positions where he really motors around the table when he spots a clearance straight after it.
Yeah, with it being an 8-foot table, it probably helps Shaun's game because there's not as much traffic. So this style of pool, he just leaves himself a shot with his potting ability.
Definitely. Yeah, I've played him at 9-ball before. He's a good 9-ball player. Like he's obviously not afraid of a bigger table.
And he's thinking well. He isn't trying anything too outrageous. He's promoting his ball.
Bloody hell, is that what it is? Yeah. That takes some cracking, won't it?
You see a clever shot there. He's moved the red away, so now the 8 ball passes in the bottom left. A little bit straighter than he would have liked. Have to draw the cue ball back now. The yellow, you can see, will go in the top left or the middle back. Not sure what his angle's like to get down for the last yellow ball.
Yeah, he wants this quite straight, but
punch off the cushion, I think.
yeah.
Good shot.
So just one good positional shot required.
Yeah, he's got a choice of pockets for the 8 ball.
Somewhat betwixt and between, but it's okay. He's still got a shot.
Somebody's just said something in the audience which is distracting, not ideal. Probably where I think the ref should restart the clock and give him a full minute, because it's not his fault somebody's disturbed him.
No, probably a late comer coming in, maybe.
And he's changed his shot after that as well. Probably told him to go for the cup.
Yeah, so he's getting some advice from his coach. Well, good clearance in the end. Levels it up. Well, this is kind of what we expected.
It's strange that, wasn't it? Because he was down to play the blacker to the bottom right, and somebody said something, gets on pot in the bottom right.
Yes.
I'm sure if Shaun was in the commentary box now, he'd be saying that was coaching. Well, it was a nice clearance, get his first one under his belt.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's just so easy on the eye to watch when he's floating around the table. He cues the ball really smoothly.
And you can see he didn't mind wasting the visit. He wasn't too bothered about trying to chase the 2 visits, keep it till the end.
Yeah, I mean, that shows the confidence, because so many amateurs try to keep the 2 visits because they're scared about missing at some point, and then they actually make the situation worse. In that frame, he could have gone for a tricky plant down the cushion, but there's just no point. Might as well set it up nicely. So, can Karl repeat the first break?
He took a little bit of pace off that one.
Which is slightly strange when you think we're saying it's the best break of the tournament. Why would you change anything?
Yeah, look at the yellows as well.
Yeah, if you can see that one.
Get through to the middle one, Mark, then if not, he's got the yellow in the middle pocket. No, he's going for long, so the first test in this frame. Long red wiped it, long yellow wiped its feet. Couple of kisses.
Going near the corner pocket, near the middle pocket, flick that right.
It's a sign of confidence, so he just got down and rattled it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he really doesn't mind those low shots. The rest of us look at that and think that's quite a tricky shot, but I just don't think he sees it like that.
Yeah, I know he plays quite a bit of snooker as well, so he's used to the bigger table. Well, that's careless.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be doing that. No point
Very, very careless.
No point playing great shots like the first one and then missing those. I think that's the thing that'll give Karl confidence, because with the out-and-out potting, he's going to be quite hard to deal with, but if he's going to throw the odd miss in.
Yeah, I mean, that is a one chink in his game, if you can say there is one. He just misses the odd ball you wouldn't expect him to, but on the other side of that, he's got the brilliance to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah, he pots the odd ball you wouldn't expect him to either.
Yeah,
I think Karl's the more consistent. You're not going to see Karl missing too many easier ones, I wouldn't imagine, in this match.
Yeah, if you were going to book one for an exhibition, you would definitely book Shaun, because he's just so quick, outrageous shots, great ability.
Well, it's just so easy to get support when you're like that, because that was the one match of all the ones we've streamed so far that people were just talking about all around the venue. Like, did you see that game? Did you see how fast he played?
Well, I came in the arena for the second half of it, and some of the Mauritius guy said to me, "It's 1 minute 8 seconds a shot frame."
Yeah, well, we timed one yesterday at 47 seconds for a frame.
Karl's tried to make the plant there, and he's just turned the frame over, so there was no real damage done.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Karl needs to do, but punish him from these positions, just letting him straight back to the table. It's not.
Yeah,
Not
in
gonna
fairness
do
to him, though, Mark, he didn't really
No,
have
he
a lot
didn't
he
have-
could do.
no.
He was trying to invent a shot that wasn't really there, just to try and make a plant down the rail.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's easy to be critical, but unfortunately the result is that Shaun's having a second crack at the board. I think he's right to take his time over this. This is one of those shots that, where the position looks quite easy, you could actually mess up quite easily as well.
Just can't reach, but like I said earlier, he's used to using the rest of playing snooker, so it should be okay. Bring the cue ball back down the table.
Just anywhere down the left-hand side. Oh no, it's decided to go for the conservative option, leave it at distance.
Yeah, a lot of players would have played to come down to the bottom cushion there. He has made this slightly more tricky.
Well, I think that's a good example of playing to his strengths, because he's clearly very good at potting and maybe less bothered about precise positional play, so rather just leave himself a shot at something.
Exactly, yeah, he's confident that no matter where the balls are on the table, if he's got a shot, he's going to take it.
Because any time you play a positional shot where you're moving the cue ball 6 or 7 feet, something can go wrong if you misjudge it. Well, hand on head, no need to be feeling too disconsolate at the moment. He's not done too much wrong.
He looks a bit tired there, doesn't he?
Yes. Well, we were joking last night they were both in the bar quite late, but at least they were out together, so they should both be in the same predicament.
Yeah.
I think actually it's quite hard to come down from the adrenaline of getting through matches like their 2 semi-finals. You don't really just want to go to bed after that. It's actually,
No,
you sort of feel quite pumped up.
You are on a buzz, and it takes you a while to come down.
So another big break expected here.
Yes, another dry break. He's going to be forced to take the yellow on the bottom cushion. Can't get through to a potted angle on any of the reds. And he's just got 2 tricky ones on the right hand side cushion. Not sure whether they could drop one of those in the middle later on.
I guess for the England fans, it would be quite nice to have an English world champion. There can't be many times in the history of this tournament where the overseas teams have done so well. I'm not wanting to remind you of the team again, but the Australian win this morning, and then Sabria beating the English hope Amy in the ladies' final.
Yeah, no, it's been good championship for the overseas, mainly Australia, which is good to see because they spend a lot of money coming over, and certainly this year they bought probably the best team they've had since '96, and they bought a good team over about 4 years ago as well, but I think this time they've got the team that they actually wanted to bring, and there was no dropouts.
Yeah, I was talking to Michael Scarry after the match. He was saying they'd all had a pact with each other. They said if they qualified and got through, they were either all going to come or none of them were going to come. So they decided all to come in the end.
Yeah, I was in Australia at their championships, their national finals, and I saw the players that got through, and I thought, well, if they came over, and Rusty did a speech, and I did a little one, and just said, you know, it'd be nice to get you guys over. It's nice to go over there and see what they have to put up with, the jet lag and the different tables. So you can understand after going into their country and playing on their tables what they have to put up with every year. So it's a good shot from Karl. Not sure how close he's landed to the yellow.
He doesn't look too happy.
Yeah, the problem is he can pot the yellow to the top right. It's just the cue ball's going to be running away. He's missed it. Put too much side on it.
Yeah, if he could have just rolled that in, it would have been easy, but trying to hold the cue ball.
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't think he's left Shaun too much here. You might see a containing safety down the bottom left-hand corner. he's attacking into the middle.
Yeah, I don't think you've read the script, Lee.
Yeah, I
He's not a
shouldn't-
containing safety type of guy.
No, I shouldn't really say that was Shaun at the table. Just thought that was a tricky pot, but he made it look easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the pot, but a lot of people would have completely lost the cue ball there, and he really got a hold of it.
Yeah, so Shaun calling another safety shot in this match. I'll call him a double instead of coming the point next
He's
time.
played the mandatory safety in the first frame, his first frame, and then
He threw me.
that's the end of it.
He just needs to control the cue ball after this shot. The plant is a gimme. Controlled it well. Yellow's fine there. Didn't cause too much of a problem.
It's like an easy game, doesn't it?
Yeah. Black into the bottom right. He's slightly short on that, but he should be okay.
Well, nice solid clearance, and another quick clearance. Well, I mean, like you, when he came to the table, I actually thought he might have a bash at that ball, but I mean, the containing safety was the obvious option when he came to the table.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just not his game. He saw a pot, and he knew if he made it, he was going to clear. So why not?
Very reminiscent of Chris Melling all those years ago, isn't it? Speedy plays at the out-and-out attack.
Yeah, and the mistakes so far have been just a couple of small ones from Karl, so he'll need to cut them out and try and get back into this game after a good start with a breaking clearance in the first. So yet again, he's done a softer break. A good split this time on either suit, really. I'd expect him to take the yellow balls, but I'd say it's a good split.
Yeah, I think this would be a good frame for him to win. He needs to stamp a bit of authority. He's seen Shaun reel off 3 now.
So test to cue in. Pass with flying colours. It's just the 2 yellows in the middle of the table. He'll be working out how he wants to play them. Not the one in the centre pocket. I'd like a little bit more angle on that.
Yeah, he's going to have to force this a bit if he wants to get the white out.
With a bit more angle, he could just stun the yellow in and come back into the black spot area and just drop one in the middle or on the top. I just have to play it a little bit firmer. And that's why he's missed it.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That ball was always wide. You could get away with dropping it in at that pace, but not banging it in at that kind of speed.
It wasn't that shot that was the bad shot, it was the shot before. He should have got more of an angle, then he could have naturally floated there and the pot would have been guaranteed, but he's had to try and force it through a little bit. And I think the good news is he's got the pocket though.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they rattle like that, they can easily bounce out, but that stayed quite nicely. Now, surely, even Shaun Chipperfield, this is a tricky position, I don't think. Surely that red doesn't go past the yellow. It looks pretty well covered, that pocket.
Looks like it, but you can't say for 100% that it won't go past it. But
No, surely he'll probably drop the cue ball an inch to the right of the yellow and pot it the other way.
I mean, there is a slight gap. You've got to think that the yellow is guarding it enough. I mean, is he going down there? Oh, it's a poor shot.
Yeah, that's not a good shot, is it?
His landing's halfway between both shots. So now he's going to have a thin clip
Yeah, it's a thin clip. He's going to have to play trying to hold the cue. Oh, he's going for
with
a
the
double.
double. Shouldn't try and call his shots again.
No. Well, this surely is a thin clip if he's going to put it.
He'll probably double it in the middle now. He is thin though, and he's got to hold the cue ball.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The problem is it's so thin. Like, how is he going to hold the cue?
If he comes down, if he was just to get in that area, even if he just was to just nudge the red, he might get a shot. But it's a big ask. And the good news is the cue ball is going in the right direction.
Well, it must be a difficult shot because he hasn't played it by now.
He's clipped the 8. I think if he didn't clip the 8, he'd probably would have potted the yellow ball then.
Yeah, it was going to be tricky to come down there and land on the ball but not pot the yellow.
Right, Mark, I'll let you call this one. Which bag's he going for?
Top left seems to... I don't know.
No, top right. Why don't you call it?
Well, he will. Double surely from there.
The reason why he went to that pocket is it got position for the 8 ball.
Yeah.
If he were doubled, I mean the double's hard anyway, but he would have no position. But I think Cole needs to take this frame now.
Yeah, he really does. If he's not clearing up from these positions, he's not going to be clearing up at all.
He's chucking a safety in.
Yeah, I don't mind that. This red is not going to be easy to fluke. He's bound to leave a shot if he just hits it,
Well,
unless
that's
he
2.
gets in dead weight behind it, which he hasn't done by quite a long way.
We found a chink in his game.
Yes. Well, I imagine he doesn't find himself with too many snookers because he's normally cleared all the balls.
Yeah, he's dolled it down to the corner.
This is the kind of simple clearance he needs to get his confidence together. You can't ask for him to do much better than that.
You know, I had a look in the programme to see if anybody's done the double in the same year, the European and the World double. I can't, certainly back to 2000, I couldn't see it. He would go back to the days of Darren Appleton. He would be the only one that I could possibly think that could have done it. I thought Twisty might have done it around about 2003, but he didn't.
No, it's quite an achievement. I mean, it's not just the quality of play, but it's just, you've got to beat so many people along the route. You're going to come across somebody playing pretty well at some stage.
I think people have held both titles, but never exactly when it's overlapped. So they didn't win it at the start of the year, but they won it after they were
After
world
the
champions.
World, yeah. Well, I feel it could be quite a breakout performance for Karl because he's been a good, solid. You'd say he was one of the solid members of your England team, well, as a lot of people, but he wasn't the one that was consistently doing well in really big singles tournaments. He was winning lots of smaller ones. But now, if he goes on to hold the 2 main titles,
Yeah, there's no bigger one to win. But he's got a long way to go yet.
yeah, and he's going to be well aware of the problem here. I mean, I think he'd have been well aware just because everyone's talking about Shaun Chipperfield, but as it happens, he knows him quite well anyway, so he knows exactly the issue. And it's not like Shaun's going to be intimidated by Karl just because he's an England player, because he plays with him all the time.
You know, and they'll know each other's game inside out. But what they won't know is each other's game on an 8-foot table. That's where it probably favours Shaun with a bigger table. I've been reliably informed that it hasn't been achieved, the double in the same season. Shaun's in the background saying, yes, I got you that information.
Looks like he might be about to be corrected as well.
Trevor Backstreet. I'm sure he's going through the archives.
A dedicated team of researchers to answer this question.
Beyond pointless, I think, next year.
Yes. Challenge whether we can look up these pieces of information before Shaun clears the table on each occasion.
Yeah, I mean, a break where all the balls have gone down to the bottom end, all over to one side. Touch on the yellow balls. Got himself a little bit awkward. He's going to have to play the 3-ball plant. Should be okay. Right, Stato, Trevor Baxter has just informed us. The programme didn't go back to 2000, so that's my defence. But I thought if anybody, like I said, had done it would be Jason Twist. And he did it in 2000.
Yeah, he was dominant around that era, wasn't he? Winning a lot of titles.
If I check my phone, I'll probably got a message from Twisty saying, I've done it.
Yes. Well, anyway, if Karl does do it, it will still be a good performance. It will be an impressive achievement, and one not done for 16 years, we now think. That's a good shot. Like, even balls it quite straight, he forced a big angle there.
It's just so natural, and he just gets down like he's in the pub just knocking about.
Well, he gets so far through the cue ball, like he's one of those people that hardly touches it and gets so much reaction.
Yeah, I'm sure if there's any landlords or pool club owners around the world watching this, they'll be thinking, wouldn't mind having this guy in my place. I'm sure he could entertain us.
Absolutely. We'll take a small cut from Shaun for arranging his next exhibitions for him. Well, they certainly wouldn't mind if he goes on to win the title. People like to play a world champion.
Yeah, I'm sure his feel will go up as well.
Yes. Well, although he's the kind of guy that would be brilliant at an exhibition, I'm not actually sure there's any reason why he would do that many at the moment. He's not one of the bigger name players coming into this. He's known as a really good player amongst everyone that plays the game, but he's not hasn't previously been a household name.
History in the making, possibly.
Absolutely. Well, it just shows how 1 week, it's not like his game has changed this week. He's always played this well, but you just get validated by winning a tournament like this.
Shaun Murphy, the first time he went into the snooker.
Absolutely.
Took the big prize.
Yeah, and I mean, one win like that can really define your career. I mean, Shaun Murphy's won a lot of other things, but that's probably the one that he gets asked about most commonly.
And another good split there.
Yeah, Karl's been breaking really well.
Yeah, he needs to take this one just to hang in the match. I know we've been singing Shaun's praises, but let's not forget it's 4-2. A lot to play for in this match.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, by the fact his opponents were running around the table quicker than we've ever seen. Karl's himself quite a quick, fluent player. He's the kind of guy that people like watching anyway.
Sasha's just doing his bow or something. Seems to be some sort of stop. Yeah, his bow tie's broke.
Interesting wardrobe malfunction mid-frame.
Well, I keep telling Karl to put his bow tie back on, and gets to the world final, takes it off again. Like I said, we didn't have an angle of that. I thought that was a good shout. Oh, the French connection's coming out to him. Well, that one's just won a world title. Karl will be hoping it brings him luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it blue though? French blue. Come on, Sasha, sort him out.
Well, luckily it looks like a clip-on one. He's not having to face the embarrassment of trying to tie it in the arena. That was a good performance by Sabrina earlier on. It was a slightly scrappy start to that match. People were saying they were both throwing away chances, but actually she came back after the interval and showed just how good she was.
Yeah, until you played out here, I mean, these guys make it look easy. The pressure is something you'll never experience in your life unless you've actually been out in the arena.
No, absolutely.
And, like Sabrina, first WEPF World Final.
Well,
It's difficult.
I just think it's so difficult for the ladies. They have even less practice. The men at least get to play their semi-final on this, but coming out cold to play the final, I know they have the use of an identical practice table, but that only really addresses the table question. It doesn't address the audience question and the cameras question and all the other ones.
Be careful, does he kiss it? It's a good shot. I was impressed, so I watched a little bit on the stream. She looked very good to me.
Yeah, she was a confident passer.
So it's all about cue ball control now. Just like to get somewhere near the black spot with the cue ball. Doesn't want to be short. That's the worst place could be is short. Looks perfect. Good shot.
Yeah, he's taking these well.
I wonder if she's negotiated a percentage if he wins.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, lucky bow tie.
What's the yellow ball? Has he got through? Oh, that could be careless.
He has. He's been lucky. He was,
Has he?
you can see from his face he was playing the other side of that. He knew he'd let it run over to the right.
I'm not sure. We might have to turn it over.
Yeah, this is very close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. Just have to play it with quite a lot of side as well.
2 and 10 chance of potting this.
Yeah, the side just didn't quite take.
That's careless, really. I think he's played it with a little bit of left-hand side, hoping to come inside the yellow ball, and with him playing it slow, the side's gone by the time it's at the cushion.
Yeah, he was unquestionably trying to come down the other side of that yellow ball. You could see him gesturing with his hands to come across.
And you'd expect Shaun to take these because he's just got one tricky ball on the right-hand side, but the last one, the one he's taking now, he knows if he misses it, takes a pocket, which just slides in. There's no pressure taking it that way.
No, absolutely. I mean, he didn't look like he was going to miss anyway.
That wiped his feet. Because it wiped his feet, he's slightly the wrong side, but he'll be okay. Just drop it and have a again.
Oh, yeah, when he's got the side on, you've got to be a bit careful playing those fast with side. They don't always check up. It's okay though. Wow,
he's solid, don't he?
No time at all. And this is Karl's problem. He misses one ball, and then a few seconds later the frame's gone.
Well, that's a big frame of the match. 4-3 to 5-2.
Yeah, I mean that feels like a scoreline we've talked about a lot this week, because the team matches.
Don't mention it.
The team matches play 7 before the mid-session interval, so that really is the crucial turning point. I mean, yeah, I know you obviously had that experience with the semi-final against Australia, but I mean that's one of those scorelines where it does sound a big difference between the two numbers.
Yeah, it's magnified in our match because it's a race to 8. So 4-3 to 5-2, race to 8 is massive.
Yeah, it's not so significant here because it's a longer race, but the problem is, like, Shaun looks like exactly the kind of guy that would be a brilliant front runner. It does not feel like somebody that you want to be giving a 3 or 4 frame start to.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a lot in between the levels of the two players in this match. It's just Karl just made the odd minor mistake, like there, just snooked himself on the black, missed a couple of balls, trying to hold position.
Yeah, and I think that last one will hurt Karl more than the earlier ones where Shaun did more of the work, because really that last one, that wasn't the most difficult positional shot. Karl had done a lot of the hard work already in that frame. That yellow was the only thing that could get in the way.
certainly looking comfortable.
Oh, powerful Chipperfield break. Well, I can't see this frame taking too long.
No. A good open break. The red's gone over to the bottom left-hand corner, so it sort of forced his decision probably to go to the reds.
Yeah, if you can't see the one in the middle of the table, this one over the corner's fine to get him started.
Yeah, he just needs to be careful with his positional play here. That's the key to this frame. You see the 8 ball won't go in that pocket that he's playing this red ball into.
Yeah, well, he holds his hand up there. That was a mile away from what he was trying to do, but the outcome isn't so bad.
No, he's fine because he can take the ball at the top, draw the cue ball over.
Yeah, and in fact, having opened up that red that little bit more, it now makes it possible to drop this one down the right-hand side and be straight on it.
Just drop the black into the middle or the other middle.
Yeah, this is...
Not sure what his cueing's like with this yellow, if he can get it all right. Makes it missable having to get over the yellow ball. That's why he's missed it. A little bit unfortunate there because you play over to that area, you can't guarantee to be perfect position, and an inch either way you wouldn't have to get over that yellow ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see he's plumb on the red if he had potted it.
But could be one given away each here, so...
Yeah, Karl's going to get some chances in this match. The question is how well he takes them.
Yeah, I expect him to take them. He's playing well enough. He's played a good shot there because he can pot the yellow in the top and just remove the other yellow off the rail. Nose is on the yellow into the opposite middle. Clever little shot, well played.
Yeah, that's turned out nice. As you say, I have the insurance of several balls there that he could end up on afterwards, so no real pressure on the cannon.
Yeah, and ideally he'd like to get rid of the yellow ball below the 8 ball sooner rather than later. Just so he doesn't have to play up position off that. A little joke there with the referee, Sasha. So he's just about to play the yellow in the middle. Well, he's leaving the one I said he should have took earlier to last, so he is now going to have to play a positional shot, which...
Yeah, I suppose if you're going to have to play any shot, actually the black is in quite a good place. As long as he leaves the right angle, you just play around the black.
Just the only way you could mess a finish up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It should be okay to slide up inside it, but after his last frame, when he's played a loose one, he doesn't want to do the same again.
Yeah, in fact, that wasn't a foregone conclusion, that position. He had to play off the cushion like that.
Well, when he plays this one, he just needs to come either inside the black, I imagine he'll be trying to screw up, won't want to disturb the black, make sure the pot on the yellow. Oh, he's played it well.
Yeah, the important thing was to get into that. If you quit on that shot, you'd end up cannoning the black by mistake. So this looks like exactly the kind of reply he needed. Oh dear, dear, dear.
That can only be described as a twitch, unfortunately. All the hard work again. I think that can only be down to the pressure that Shaun's put him under.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to feel for him there. He's done all the hard work, hasn't he? Just that one black. It's often the way you play the more difficult ones, and then you think, oh, good, it's done now, I just need the black, and then suddenly he's taken his eye off it. Oh, wow, happy Christmas for Shaun Chipperfield. The difference between 6-2 and 5-3.
Wow, 2 frames in a row.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to win the match, we can safely say, if he's going to start missing opportunities like that. Which is a shame, because he was in good stroke, he played some good shots, looked like he had the reply he needed.
Yeah, he obviously just tightened up on that one particular shot, which you can't do at this level, I'm afraid.
That's just going to give Shaun so much confidence. He's going to think that even if it looks like he's lost a frame, he might still be in it.
Well, he looks like there's no pressure on him at all anyway, and I'm sure that's transferring over to the other side of the arena where Karl's thinking, well, he's out there like he's having a practice game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm playing the biggest game of my life.
Well, he has that demeanour, doesn't he? I mean, he's a really nice chap, Shaun. He's just easygoing, nice chap, seems to enjoy the game. Like, it doesn't seem troubled by too many worries around it.
Karl's got to forget about it. Big break. Put it behind him. He's still in the match. And he's breaking well, so he's going to get chances.
Unfortunately, he is breaking well and hasn't potted one, which is not going to be a good formula here.
Well, you can see the black ball is got a yellow ball very close to it. Not sure if it's still going the top right hand corner.
There's also this red on the right hand side of the table, quite close to those yellows. Not straightforward.
There's a cue ball. Oh, I thought he was going to go an off then.
He's got a lot closer to this.
Got away with that one. Mark got away with it. Could have easily gone off.
Yeah, and that would have really obviously turned the frame. And that's the kind of thing Karl might need, some kind of help to get there.
Well, the black may have to go into the middle pocket. The one where he just almost went off.
Yes, if it pots in there and he's going to leave that one, the red at the top to the last, that may be okay.
Camera
Now,
on the yellow.
oh, that's a good shot, isn't
Excellent
it?
shot.
Yeah, he needs to do something to get on that. That's the perfect solution. Now, if he pots the one in the corner, leaves an angle on the one in the middle to get up to the top of the table.
Well, he can choose to go over to the side where he's looking, or he might be able to just to drop it in and hold on the yellow on the top cushion. So, just depends how he feels. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if the black goes in the corner where he's going to be playing his last red, or even if he's on it. I think he's just okay. He's just having to just put a little bit on it. Well,
Oh dear.
it was a tricky positional shot, that one. He wanted to get over there because he knew that he had to go towards the yellow ball with his neck, with his cannon. So he had to try and be so precise, and he was just half a ball away from the clearance. But now they need to start, or certainly Karl needs to start punishing the odd mistake.
Yeah, those are the chances you're going to get from Shaun, where he's going to get left with a tricky ball now and again when he goes for these clearances. Karl's going to find himself coming to the table with all his balls in a fairly open table quite regularly, I think. But
Yeah, in these matches you always get your chances, and you just need to seize the moment. Whether you get enough chances is
yeah, well, that's the thing. But I think if you start taking your chances, you find you get more because you get the other guy under some pressure.
Yeah, you reverse the pressure. You remind him that you're still in the match.
Because there are plenty of matches where you think, well, I only had a couple of chances, but actually if you fail to take them, then the guy was under no pressure, whereas if you'd taken both of them, you might find you had another 6 after that. Well, they're getting more open for Karl, but even if they're not, he can...
I think he can't have an easier finish.
No, he wants it to be really easy, doesn't he?
Wants 2 visits and just be able just to take them, and whether Shaun's going to give him that, I'm not sure. Well, there's your answer. Yes. Ball in hand. Just what the doctor ordered for Karl. A quick check to see if it goes in the middle. Clearly does.
what he needs to help forget that rather twitchy black. It's one of these positions that with two is just so easy, because these ones down the side cushion you could miss, but without the pressure you very rarely do.
Yeah, there's no problems here. There's frames and the bag.
Well, the good thing is he hasn't lost his rhythm. He's still playing at a nice pace, still looks quite smooth on the shot. Important frame, 6-3.
Hanging in there.
Yeah, now this is going to be a big frame, last frame before the mid-session interval coming up. 6-4 isn't too bad at all, whereas 7-3 is not attractive.
Yeah, and he'll be kicking himself. He's not closer to him. Well, like you say, hanging the match, things can change.
Big moment for Sasha Gauci, our referee. First world final.
Well, that won't come into it because I've got it on here.
Ooh, how did that white not go in? It looked like it was inexorably going towards the pocket.
He was fortunate not to go off. He's made a red. I think he's checking to see if the yellow go past the red. I think both suits are available.
Yeah, if that yellow was to pass, that would have been a good option, but having to take the reds instead. Oh, no, we haven't seen much of that so far. Those are the kind of loose ones he doesn't want to be introducing.
It's the last 2 or 3 frames, Mark, where he's started to make a mistake. Now, it's important for Karl to punish him, because if he doesn't, they just won't mean anything. You know,
No, absolutely. We've already seen one frame where he got back to the table after a slightly loose miss. This is going to be the difference between a 4-frame deficit and a 2-frame deficit for Karl.
And he's just trying to put some pressure on the speed that Shaun plays, because when he's in stroke, you know, it's quite frightening when he's running around the table. But if he starts missing his last couple of balls for a couple of frames in a row like he has done, then you get some doubt in the mind of Shaun Chipperfield.
And Karl won't mind at all the fact that he was able to go for the yellows there. That wasn't a bad option for him.
Be careful here though, because there is a red at the other side of the table. You might leave him on it, and he has done. Wasn't sure about that shot.
No, it's okay to play a safety, but it's going to have to be a lot more telling than this one.
Well, I just don't think the shot was there really, because he was always going to leave him on the red in the bottom left-hand corner.
Very fearless with those shots. I think some people would worry about the path of the cue ball. I kind of feel with him, he just picks out a path that looks okay and goes with it.
Well, I don't think all he could do was pot it there, though, Mark. There was no real control. He just had to make sure of the pot and see what he was left. And he has got a tough ball down the rail. Missed it.
Missed it and it rattled away. They're quite variable though. Sometimes you miss those and they jam right in the pocket, and other times they end up a long way away.
Yeah, it depends on which side the pocket you hit. If you hit the rail first, they can stick. If you hit it wide, they just get thrown away. This is another dangerous shot. He needs to get it right over. Good shot. Good weight.
Yeah, that is a good shot.
It.
Yeah, that puts a
Any
very
gap
different
there, he would have
complexion.
turned the frame over more.
Yeah, it was easy. It looked like it was a bit short for a moment, but yeah, actually the pace is just perfect.
But I'm sure Shaun will be off. playing for a double on the black. But this is what Karl wants. He wants Shaun to go for these sort of finishes. Obviously, he's hoping he doesn't get them.
I was going to say exactly the same. I don't think he minds at all the fact that he likes to go for a finish. He's going to have to just embrace it really and accept that he'll get a few chances, and a few times Shaun will clear up.
Just showing you with his Q-tip roughly where he wants the white to be. It's pretty good. You just have to be careful when he draws the cue ball over, because it could come off the cushion and just flip the yellow towards the 8 ball. Come behind it, that's a great shot.
That's a great shot to check up off the bottom cushion like that. That looked pretty fast, but then just pulled up perfectly.
Yeah, this is Bob from the English Board Association, Board Treasurer, was involved in the World Championship. I need to pay him some money.
Finish that one.
I made the mistake of calling a shot, speculating you might go for a double, but again another plan. Well, it's just turned 6 o'clock, and after just under an hour's play, 10 frames of pool completed already, 7-3 in favour of Shaun Chipperfield. It was quick as we expected.
Yeah, it's a good match. A couple of mistakes by either player. Score could have been any score really. Karl will be disappointed to be 7-3 down, but you have to say Shaun has played well, apart from a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trouble for Karl is it not taking the opportunities. It wasn't that he didn't have any opportunities, it was just he didn't take all of them.
Yeah, the black was a big frame. You know, when he's missed the 8 ball to get back in within 1, went to 5-2 instead. Big mistake.
But the good news for us is both players look to be playing well, so he should be in for an enthralling second session. Break for about 10 minutes or so, where the players have some quick refreshments. We'll be back when they are.
So, frame 11, it's Karl Sutton to break, and he needs something to start happening for him in this match. And that's exactly what he didn't want. He's lost the cue ball, I think straight into that middle pocket, and handed the initiative immediately to Shaun Chipperfield in the second half of this match.
Yeah, I don't like his body language at the start, Shaun. I think he needs to just snap out of it. He's still in it. You know, there was mistakes made at the back end of the match by both players. Unfortunately, he did go off the break, but it's not an easy finish.
One thing Shaun Chipperfield's looking at, if he can leave himself on the red that's just above the black spot and a little bit low on it, has he got the opportunity to develop that red and the black?
Yeah, if he plays that shot, he's a little bit thin on it, but if he does play that shot, he has got a red over the right centre to land on, should he not land on any other ball when he goes into them. Just looks a little bit thin here. And he's jacking up to try and screw into him. Oh, that's a great shot. So he's just looking where he wants a cue ball in a couple of shots' time.
I mean, the one thing is, Shaun Chipperfield just looks so at ease out there in the arena. He's just stroking the ball in for fun. And you'd think he'd been coming here year after year, you know, and playing out in that arena. He just looks so comfortable. Like.
And it also helps that Karl has let him off a couple of times so he relaxed, but I think from the off he's looked relaxed, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, he's such a good player, he's great to watch. The cue ball will stay roughly where the red is now.
He's just stunned it across a little bit at the angle. So thin cut on this 8 ball. And all of a sudden 8-3 and Shaun Chipperfield just 3 frames away from the world title.
Yeah, Karl needs to get the next frame. He's sort of going 9 and 10-3 down. There's absolutely no way back from that. And certainly with the players that Karl's beaten in the tournament, you know, he shouldn't be fearful of anybody really.
No, I don't know if it's a fear thing. I just wonder if it's that, it's almost the mates effect. You know, they know each other so well, and
yeah, it's possibly the worst person he could play in the sense that he can't get that, you know, eye of the tiger in because he's playing his mates. If he loses, he'll be happy for his mates. But he is like, the vibes don't look good in it from his corner, unfortunately, at the minute. So, as he's known to his friends, Chippy, breaking off. Yellow ball just makes it into the pocket. 5-frame lead.
Yeah, and if Shaun Chipperfield becomes world champion, Mike Perkins, the current EPA chairman's got a little claim to fame. They play in the same local league in Norwich, and Chipperfield hadn't been beaten all season, and Mike Perkins took a frame off him. First time he'd been beaten all season.
Was that a claimed frame or was it actually on the
no,
table?
No, actually played.
Didn't he fall and foul the
rules?
rules?
No, I did mention it to Shaun. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll play him best of 9 next time. He's got no chance."
I didn't know Perky played.
Yeah, he still plays in his local league and still involved.
They should set a super seniors up for him.
I think there's 1 or 2 now who could appear for that. No, they're quite whether George Harwood would quite qualify at his age, but I know certainly the likes of Robert Shaw, he's been around the game since year dot with Mike.
Another rapid fire finish from Chipperfield.
Yeah, another frame for Shaun Chipperfield.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. I can't see how the momentum's going to change in this match. 9-3. Chippy looking at ease. Would be good to see Karl make a fight of it, but I've been in the other chair when you're losing in the world final. It's hard to get your head straight, just trying to refocus and think, well, you know, I'm not lost here, I've still got a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to be embarrassed in a world final. You know, you don't want to be going down really 11-3. You know, a player of Karl's quality, it's just...
It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth because you think, well, I played so well, I just didn't turn up for the final. And, you know, we're not saying that's going to happen, but he needs to get some foot in this match soon.
Yeah, and that's nothing to take away from Shaun Chipperfield's performance. I mean, performance has been absolutely sublime. I mean, he's had to play, I think it's 8 rounds just to get to the last 64. I think he's played through all the qualifiers he got to, and then the qualifying rounds here. So he's probably something on like his 13th match now. So to keep going, you know, over that length of time has been brilliant, and he's put in a quality performance here. He's taken the opportunities that have been given to him. In the main, anyway. I think there's been a couple of chances where he's not taken them and handed the table back to Karl, but generally.
But in fairness to Shaun Chipperfield, nobody's got near him in the tournament. He's been blasting people away.
Yeah. For the last 24 hours, we've been talking about how good James Delahunty was in the team game, and he destroyed him in like 40 minutes, something like that. I think Mick said. He was commentating. He said he nipped out. It was 3-1, and he's come back 17 minutes later, and he's lost 8-1.
Yeah.
And to be fair, James Delahunty knows that he's done nothing wrong. He stood there and just had to grin and bear it, knowing that he's not had a chance.
It's a nice weapon to have where you can just steamroll people quick. It adds that extra pressure.
Yeah. Chance here, though, in frame 13, Karl Sutton. I think his confidence a world of good now if he could take this finish out.
Yeah, he's just slightly concerned these are the wrong angle. He'd like to just stun out, but if he ends up thin on the next red, then his white's going to be trailing down the right-hand side of the table, so that's why he's up and down a couple of times. That's why he's jacking up. So he's thinner than he would have wanted. He's now going to draw the cue ball down the right-hand side. He's going to come inside the yellow, and the second yellow. It's a great shot.
Perhaps just come a fraction further than he wanted to here.
I think he should just pot it, run on and off the cushion, leave yourself a long shot like Shaun Chipperfield's been doing throughout the match.
Yeah, referee Karl's game in both the last 32 and the last 16. He beat Dylan Leary in the last 32, who he'd played in the European final. It was a brilliant performance. Well, he's gone round the angles. He's had a little bit of run there. Could have quite easily flicked the yellow. The cue ball goes in the middle pocket. And he's almost lost the frame. But great reply from Karl Sutton. Little wry smile. But it's still 9-4 Shaun Chipperfield in this race to 11.
Yeah, it's good to see that the nudge went his way there. Give him a chance to get back into the game. I think he's having a chat there with the England team.
So there's one or two comments and some hand gestures going on, and he's obviously having a little bit of banter there, and maybe that's good. He can just relax a little bit and, you know, just free his arm up and gets a chance, and you never know. Takes the next couple of frames, gets back in it at 9-6 potentially.
Well, his body language has changed, just lifted a little bit. Instead of he's had his hand on his chin and a little bit slumped, he's upright now and smiling. Probably thinks the match is over for him, but you know, it's never over.
No.
If you just peg him back one by one, he gets back to 9-7. All of a sudden, we'll be asking the question, but at the moment, it's 9-4.
Shaun Chipperfield was a little bit lucky there. Nearly lost the cue ball top right, but he's potted 3 yellows. I think 2 of them went in the same middle pocket as well.
I think the reds just saved Karl, because if that red didn't come up and block the path of the yellow, he had an absolute rolling finish. By now, they're still there. He's probably going to have to go the reds. That's where he's nominated.
Just wondered, does he just try and get a little cute and take the red off the yellow here, clear the pocket?
I think he'll just drop it in.
I just wondered about. I was thinking about the red that's, you know, on the baulk rail.
It's far enough off the rail though to just run it into the opposite pocket.
Yeah, right.
And the shot is there to do.
Yeah, he stuns back on this one and then, say, plays one
Red's
top
the
left
centre
and
after.
runs through.
Just wants to get straight now. If he gets plumb straight, run through the one onto the top right. He's on the middle of the next shot. He might have been a little bit further down, but he's still okay. The bigger table helps, so you've got more room.
Just like he might have overcut that a little bit, but so you think you said, Lee, this being a new table, the pockets are quite generous.
Yeah, it's nice to watch him until he's just so fluent in the balls. Shelling peas.
Yeah, great performance, great clearance. Down goes the 8, and it's now 10-4 in a race to 11 in this World Men's Final.
Wow. Just over an hour, and the match is almost over.
Yeah, I mean it's almost reminiscent of the Mellin Twist one in the early 2000s. I think that only lasted about an hour and a half. Was it 11-9? I think it went to Chris Mellin,
And then there's a
2001.
quick one. I think there was one where I think Gaz won. Was it 11-4 or something like that?
Yeah.
4, 11-5. Was that against Mick? That was a quick one.
Yeah, it was. I think it was when he beat Mick. Yeah, I ref Gaz's first one in 2005, but that was about an 11-9. Certainly, it's been fast and furious here. The Imperial Hotel in Blackpool,
Some good splits.
and this is all Karl can do now. Is just step up, try and take the finish out, you know, and just hope for a chance in his next frame.
Probably the bad thing for Karl in this match, the balls have broke well for both players. So when Karl hasn't made a ball, it's perfect for Shaun Chipperfield. It's his game. I said at the start of the match he's got one gear, and I wasn't being disrespectful by that. What I meant is he's all out attack, and he's, you know, a fantastic finisher.
I was trying to play the development shot there.
He's okay, I think, now.
You see the one top left. So he should be okay here.
And the gear that he's got, not many people have.
He's having to just come off the rail.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, he had to come off the rail at that and he just caught it wrong.
Well, it could be his last shot in this year's championship.
You know, ordinarily you say, well, there's a massive amount of work to do here for somebody, but the way Shaun Chipperfield has not been knocking these balls in, you would not bet against him taking this frame and the world title.
Well, they're all there, aren't they? Because he can leave the one on the rail, just drop down, then he's got the one on the middle of the table, which would be like the blue spot on a snooker table. And it's all over this match. And a fantastic performance from Shaun Chipperfield, and take your hat off him too, Shaun.
Yeah, I mean, not quite there yet, but like you say, it has been a superb performance.
It's all over. he hasn't missed these all day, so he isn't going to do it now. He's not going to fall over the line.
And he's shown no sort of sign of nerves. You know, he's not succumbed to any pressure. You know that he's in the world final.
It's some achievements from an unranked player. Yes, unranked in the sense he's not in this tournament before, but the serious players throughout the country know of Shaun Chipperfield, and the people around the world now will know the name.
So this 8 ball, bottom right for the world title. It's there, and Shaun Chipperfield, the 2016 men's world champion. He gets a hug from his great friend Karl Sutton, handshakes with the referee Sasha Gauci, and he's celebrating with the family. Brilliant performance.
What an amazing game of pool. One of the quickest and highest quality finals we've ever seen. It's always sad at these moments that there has to be a loser, but our runner-up, what an amazing performance. One of the players of the week and could so easily have been world champion, but came up against an opponent that was oh so tough. Let's hear it for our runner-up, Karl Sutton. Shaun, world champion, how does that sound?
Doesn't sound right, does it?
To us watching, it looked so easy. People were saying he's walking around the table, he doesn't look like he's trying. Let's step forward, it was a bit out of the range of the mic. It doesn't look like you're hardly trying, but...
Still out of range.
What an amazing performance. Was it as easy as it seemed to be?
No, far from it. That's just the way I play. I mean, I was nervous as anything, but Karl didn't get going, so there weren't as much pressure on me today. So.
No, and a word for our finalist. I mean, Karl played so well all week.
He'll win plenty of world titles, don't worry about that. Well done, Karl.
Let's welcome into the arena the presentation party, Mr. Alan Benton, Tournament Director, and Mr. Joe Fanto, President of the World 8-Ball Pool Federation.